Hello guys, evening everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well.
Yes,
Good
sir.
to see you all here. And I welcome everyone to the session of Odin Talks today. And we have a speaker, Srishti Gupta here, the senior business analyst, and who will be discussing about data science application and its case studies. And without any further delay, I would like to hand over the session to take it forward from here. And welcome, Srishti.
Hi Ravi, thanks for the introduction. Hello everyone.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello,
Hi.
ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening everybody. Please let me know once my screen is visible to you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Ravi, could you enable the
Good
screen
good
sharing?
evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, it's
ma'am.
visible.
All right then. Hello everybody. The topic we'll be covering today is data science and its applications. So a little bit about me. My name is Srishti Gupta. I have been an international speaker for Microsoft for about 4 years now. I also work as a senior business analyst with EY, primarily in the technology consulting and business consulting domain, which has given me the opportunity to work with clients in multiple industries ranging from pharma, education, banking, finance, insurance, supply chain, and stock exchanges, all of that. So I would be sharing those experiences and how data science helped me there. I have been a chairperson for Association for Computing Machinery. Besides that, I became an accidental career coach. The reason for that was that in college, one second, is my video visible to you guys?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
It's not visible. Second. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I'll share my screen also. Screen is visible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in college, I did about 17 internships in different fields. And that's how I got an idea of multiple industries and the non-tech fields, the tech fields, and everything in between. So that's how we gain experience and eventually carry the legacy forward by guiding other people. I judge hackathons for almost all colleges. Last week, I judged a hackathon for IIT Madras. And Internshala, if you guys have heard about it, it's the world's largest internship platform where I managed a community of 1,200 plus people across India. And we did a lot of brand collaborations also to get students hired. So that's how the professional network of industry linkages developed with recruiters. And I understood what the recruiters are looking for in a lot of profiles, not just data scientists. So any profile, what are the major key qualities or skills we are looking for in candidates? So I'll be sharing that experience also with you guys. This is going to be two sessions. First is today, and the next one is on 3rd of February, where I'll be covering those aspects of what portions could help you in recruitment and your CV building, skill set enhancement, all of that. Today, we'll be discussing the profiles that are available in data science and the career transition that we have to, the journey that we have to take for this career transition, and what are the steps and the opportunities that lie for us. So, starting with, okay, before that, let's try to understand our audience a little bit. If you guys are working professionals already, just type a W in the chat window if you are students or you are in college right now or doing masters or bachelors, just type S in the chat window. Okay. Okay, so somebody's typing W non-tech. Okay, very good. So you're transitioning from non-tech to a technical role, which is data science. Okay. Own business, Prasant has written. Soumya, non-tech, working. Shivaram, student. Mhm. Anyone who's working already in tech? Okay, we have a lot of non-tech people. Very good. Shruti has written non-tech and working as assistant professor. Very good. Ganga has written yes. So probably she's working and in technical industry. Okay. Okay, student. Rakesh has written W. Shiva has written non-tech and housewife. Kudos to you, Shiva. I hope you achieve your data science dream job very soon. Okay, we already have SQL developers here, Akash. Okay. Okay. So you've got a good understanding of the audience over here. All right, one more thing then I would like to ask is, so I come from a tier 2 college in Delhi. I don't come from IIT or NIT or IISc for that matter. Anyone, okay, give a thumbs up if you also come from a tier 2 or tier 3 college, which means that you're not from an IIT or NIT. Give a thumbs up in the chat box. Vinayak, Karki, Swati, Aditya. Okay. Chandravati, Lavanya. Okay. Happy to see females also over here. It's very, a couple of years ago, it was rare to find females in data science, especially. In STEM, of course, we are, doing focused efforts with a lot of companies. I worked with Microsoft for specifically as a diversity and inclusion advocate. And now we see so many females in tech talks and in engineering roles. It's so proud. Gayatri has also sent. Yes, Swapnil. So I can see we have 100 plus participants over here. Everybody, I would request you to please be a bit interactive. We would keep this session interactive. And of course, you are allowed to post your queries. I would be reading them alongside. Okay, Vijay. Okay. All right then. So I'll give a brief about the 5 major opportunities that we have in terms of career transition to data science. The first one over here is of a data analyst. It can also be called a product analyst in some companies. The primary work of a data analyst is to fetch data, to clean it, and to gather insights from it. These 3 major steps. Now, fetching could be from files, could be from warehouses. For that, usually SQL is used, structured query language. Then cleaning the data, presenting it in a form that is understandable. So for example, we come across a lot of Excel sheets which have, like, let's say 30, 40, 100 columns, and lot of data, like 500,000 rows, and it's all scattered data. It does not make much sense in terms of business. So cleaning that data and then presenting it in a form that insights are derived from it. That could be through visualization, graphs, or even in Excel, we make a lot of graphs, right? So that is the work of a data analyst, the most preliminary work, the beginning step of data science, and the most crucial one, because most importantly, you need data. Then secondly, you need it in a presentable format. And third, you need it in a way that you are able to derive insights from it. Second is of a data scientist, which many of us are aiming for over here, I can see. So the data scientist is one step above. That person must know all the work of a data analyst. And then the step ahead would be core of coding. So Python and then machine learning. You must be able to present yourself in a way that the machine learning algorithms, you are able to understand that and you are able to derive some work through it. For example, let's say that we all use YouTube, right? So when I'm sorry, there was a technical issue. Ravi, am I audible and visible? And is my screen visible?
Yes, Rishti. Yes, yes. It's
Sorry.
completely visible.
Okay, great. So the data scientist goes a step beyond the data analyst. They are more involved with Python. Core coding experience is needed and understanding of the algorithms, various machine learning algorithms, data learning, and deriving insights. They basically do the work of a data analyst in a more refined fashion in terms of inculcating deep learning algorithms and a more nuanced understanding of how these algorithms are working. Now we go a step beyond. As an ML engineer, it is also called as SWE, software engineer or software development engineer, as in Google, SDEML. So they are specifically for turn off your, yeah, specifically for ML. Now their work is to, beyond understanding the functioning of the algorithms, these people also devise new algorithms and improve the functioning in terms of user experience. So for example, I was giving the insights from YouTube. On the right side, we have recommended videos. So that is actually an algorithm for recommender system by YouTube, which the engineers have developed so that based on our viewing preferences and what we like, what we dislike, what we spend, which kind of videos we spend time viewing, similar to that, we get more videos recommended. Similarly, on Spotify, we get similar songs and music recommended. Applied scientists, now they go a step beyond the ML engineer. They are usually for devising new algorithms, increasing the throughput and decreasing the latency. So for example, I devised an algorithm which recommends you videos of your interest. Now somebody else increases the efficiency in terms of the videos based on the videos that you've already liked, downloaded, or shared. So that increases the efficiency, decreases the latency, and overall the throughput that we receive is increased. So that is the work of scientist, applied scientist. Now, when I say applied scientist and research scientist, the common thing between both these profiles is that they do a lot of experiments in terms of customer optimization, cost benefit analysis. all of those analytics. But now the major thing is that these are not entry-level positions. These usually require a master's or a PhD. And for example, I can share the examples of FAIR, Facebook AI Research Laboratory, DeepMind by Google. So over there, these kind of profiles are hired. We are in a, what I understand from what Odin School is doing and the understanding from our audience, we are actually looking for career transitions from either non-tech to tech, or from tech to specific data science positions. Or if we have students, so they are looking for, the positions that involve a little bit of coding, but also analytics, so that you give business useful outputs. So the three profiles we would be focusing on are data analyst, data scientist, and ML engineer. Needless to say, the salaries increase as we increase the complexity from data analyst to a research scientist. Okay, so three things that would actually determine our career progression. First is career entry.
Hello,
And the
ma'am.
second thing is, Manikanta, if you could mute right now, I would take questions at the end.
No, ma'am. It's a small question, ma'am. Is data engineering is not part of data science?
Sorry, what?
Data engineering.
It is
You
very
have,
much a part.
you haven't mentioned
ML
that one, right?
engineer,
That's all.
okay, I am answering your question right now, but please save the questions for last. I'll answer this one. Data engineer is basically a culmination of data scientist and ML engineer. So different companies call it with different names. I told you, right, ML engineer is called as SDEML in Google when they roll out the vacancies. So there are different profile names for the similar kind of work that you're doing. And majorly it depends upon the job description that is rolled out by the company. So when we say a data engineer, we deal with a lot of SQL, Python, Tableau, which means data engineering plus data visualization plus data analytics. All right. And the rest of the questions, I will give you time. We have 20 minutes at the end for questions, 15 to 20 minutes. And we would discuss, we would answer all the queries. Okay. Coming to what do we aspire for here? Yeah. So let's roll out a little poll in the chat window. I'll explain why we have mentioned the 3 P's over here and how they would impact or rather help in our career transition. First is proficiency. By proficiency, what we mean is how good or bad you are at the work that shall be assigned to you as a data scientist, ML engineer, data analyst, whatever you name it. Proficiency in terms of coding, proficiency in terms of understanding the data problem. Data science is all about converting a business problem into a data problem. So when you are faced with client issues like, we want to increase our sales or we are losing our customers, what do we do? So that is a business problem. How do you convert it into a data problem? That aspect is proficiency. And then, of course, how do you solve that data problem? Because you can't just pose a data problem in front of them and say goodbye. So how you convert it and then how you solve it. Now, for solving it, you would need proficiency in terms of hard skills as well as soft skills. The hard skills would be coding and everything that I mentioned. The soft skills would be understanding the problem of the customer or whatever your client is. And then reaching a common ground, which requires proper communication skills, interpersonal skills. So proficiency, if we say in the chat window, rate yourself in terms of proficiency from 1 to 10. Let's see what the people say. I guess you've attended some classes already, even if you're beginners. So in terms of, let's say, coding, what is your proficiency? 1 to 10. 7. Srinivas says 7. Prashant says 7. Akash 8 to 9. Very good. Lot of people saying 7, 8. Okay, Bhavna saying 5. Okay, we can always work it out. Abhinav says 5. Ramesh says 8. Okay. Okay, Shivaram 5. All right. Everybody, please quickly answer. Shashidhar says 5, Ganga says 6. Okay. Shubham 7 to 8. Okay. Swati 7. The question is, Shailendra, rate yourself from 1 to 10 in terms of proficiency in coding? That could be any language of your preference. Soumya says 8. Okay. Okay. So this is the first thing. Proficiency is the first thing that we have to work on. The second thing is preference. So I shared 5 profiles with you, right? Data analyst, scientist, ML engineer, research scientist, and applied scientist. Now, what is your preference? The reason for asking that is that usually in the beginning of the career, the choices are made based on the pay package and the brand of the company. These two things people look at. Is it a well-known brand like, let's say, the FANG companies, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all of that? Or is it a very good pay package? So for that, usually people opt startups also because the startups are high-paying jobs, although the brand might not be very well known. So the preference is usually based on these two factors. But the reason for explaining those 5 rules to you in the very beginning of the session is so that you make an informed decision that this is a long-term career thing that I am doing. So the preference should not be based on the short-term or the lucrative goals. In the beginning of the career, they do look very very exciting and glittering. But then eventually, you can ask this from the working professionals in the network. Eventually, the work that we do matters. The impact that we create, that matters. So that is why the preference and being cognizant of it, thinking about it right now while you are enrolled with Odin School is important. And most importantly, the third thing, passion. I need to mention this and focus on it because of the tech layoffs that are going on. Everybody's aware of it, right? So if you are taking up a job only because it is the new buzzword, just like cryptocurrencies or NFT or blockchain, you don't understand it. But since everybody is talking about it and everybody is told that this is exciting or this is going to be a high paying job or there are good career prospects, I would personally suggest do not opt for it if you do not have the proficiency or the preference for it. By passion, I don't mean that you need to be madly in love with data science. It's all right if you're doing it only for job sake. But when you're doing it for job sake, there has to be an element of joy, of satisfaction while doing this work, while you understand it and you realize the kind of impact these algorithms are literally having life altering impact on all of us. So these 3 P's are very important when transitioning from a non-tech to a tech career or specifically to a data science career. Now, I would like to discuss a couple of application-based case studies. So the first one that I've taken up is something that all of us have hopefully experienced: e-commerce websites, Amazon, Flipkart. Now, let me just have a quick understanding here. Anyone who's purchased, especially during Big Billion Days or Great Indian Festival, just type a yes. You look out for that. When this would be declared, it's usually in October, September, October. A lot of yeses we are getting. That especially during this time, we would make our purchases and we keep things in our wish list or bucket list, and then we finally order them during the Big Billion Days. Yeah, type a yes, everybody. See, so many people, almost all of us. Can we take a moment to understand the why behind it? Why are we actually, yes, okay. Veeraj is writing customer reach, very good. Share your answers, everybody. Why do you think Big Billion Days or Great India Festival are so famous and so impactful in terms of reaching out to the audience and making sales? Okay, we get discounts, yes. Less price, Shubham has said. Okay. Vouchers, Karishma. Okay. Kriti has written a very good thing. Targeted product recommendation. Very well. Customer satisfaction. Okay. Shubham has written festival season. Okay. Yes, that is why. Very good. New products are launched. Arpit has written. Okay. Okay, so coming back to Kriti's point, let's elaborate on that. Targeted product recommendation. I've written it in my slide also. The first point, the product recommendation for customers. How do you think that is happening? How does somebody sitting in USA working on Amazon's website know that I like smartphones? And which smartphones? I like Apple or Samsung, whatever. Those product recommendations are not happening on an individual basis. As I mentioned in the beginning of the PPT, there are machine learning algorithms which are targeting us, which are actually studying and analyzing our behavior. What kind of things I am putting in my wish list, what kind of things I am putting in my cart, and finally, what do I end up purchasing? What kind of reviews I am doing? What kind of things I am putting in my search bar? What are the things that I'm actually looking for repeatedly? So based on that, I am basically just a subject of study for those algorithms, and they sent me individualized recommendations, which is targeted product recommendation. Based on that, I feel, oh, let's just purchase that also. It is also useful for me. This is also of my interest. Second thing would be a personalized marketing strategy. For example, a couple of you, Soumya also has mentioned festivals. So during the festive season, we are in a happy mood and willing to spend money, which is why these events like Big Billion Days are organized during the festive season, because it is, again, psychology plays a big role in machine learning and deep learning, because this is all artificial intelligence. How psychology plays a role is that during the festive season, we have those savings accumulated and we are ready to spend, we are capable to spend also in that phase. And that is the reason these kind of events and sales are kept on that time. Personalized marketing strategies would be, for example, you know, hiring famous actors, or maybe the personalization could also be in the aspect of, let's say if I am purchasing a phone, they would recommend me similar phone covers, or maybe the wallpapers. I think this was a famous case study when somebody was recommended a phone cover which had the background of their desktop. And then the whole AI thing was put in news a lot, that how every activity of ours is being monitored and we are being recommended products for our purchase. The third thing would be the predicting the supply chain model. Okay, so this is something that I worked on in EY in terms of supply chain. So the problem that we were encountered with was that some e-commerce platform was facing this competition from local traders, that the local traders are able to provide the goods which are ordered on the same day, on the next day, but the website is taking about 3 to 4 days to deliver, which is why they are losing their customers to local competition. So in that terms, EY helped them in terms of supply chain optimization. We have an in-house product called Asterisk, and we made a couple of recommendations, but one of them was based on predictive modeling. So if we assume that, let's say, again, taking the example of phones, if there's an area in, let's say, North Delhi, which is supposedly having a pattern of getting orders of 10 phones every day, then how about we preemptively ship those phones to that location a few days prior so that the desired demand is met well in time? So this is a very grassroots level example that I've given to you. But on the similar models, a predictive model was built and the supply chain transition was smoothly handled. The fourth one is gaining customer insights. All of you have written amazing answers for that because this is the exact thing, gaining customers insights. Many of you have written discounts to attract more consumers, expanding the business. These customer insights are basically analyzed from our spending activity and the amount of time that we are spending. So I don't know if you know this, but once we search a product, there are, like, let's say, hundreds of options, and we choose a couple of them and we actually click on the product and we read about it, the specifications and the pricing and the offers. That time is also monitored. The more time you're spending on that page, on that product, means that you're that much more interested. And then similarly your interests are monitored, calculated, and then similarly customer insights are derived and you are presented with further similar products. So this is the example of e-commerce website, order prediction, delivery optimization, the supply chain example that I shared with you, sales enhancement by discounts, by big billion days, by special offers, loyalty points that are given, or on use of credit cards, so that you have brand collaborations like with Cred and other companies. And the fourth is GRM for customers, which means grievance redressal mechanism. So earlier it used to be like you having to wait for about 2 to 3 minutes and just dealing with automated messages that press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3 for this, and now you just have less than 1 minute of waiting time and you're directly in touch with somebody who solves your problem quickly. So that optimization of grievance redressal mechanism, all of that has been done to finally increase the business throughput and reduce the latency in terms of customer experience. The next example we have in pharma and health science industry. We've all dealt with so many waves of COVID now and the lockdown and the problems that came with it. So it is very important to underline how data science is making its mark in the pharma and health science industry. I worked with GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, if anybody has heard of it, the very famous major pharma giant in the world. Now, couple of things where data science played its role in my experience was vaccine development, medicine development, clinical trials. Over here, big data analytics comes into picture. So what it does is that earlier what used to happen, let's give a very niche example for everybody. Earlier what used to happen when we develop a new medicine, it used to be tested on animals, rodents, rats, rabbits. Then if it passes those levels of test, then monkeys. And then if passes those levels of test, then voluntarily people used to be signing up that you can test this medicine on me or this vaccine on me. And then if the tests are positive, then it will be rolled out for medical approval and then finally selling to the public at large. When big data and data science come into play, all of this process is basically reduced in terms of cost and time input. Cost input because all of those resources are reduced. What we do is we analyze patterns, we use artificial intelligence to predict the toxicity or the health impact of certain chemicals. The research time is reduced because everything is aggregated. So similarly, the drug reaction has been controlled. How the negative impacts have been minimized. The R&D cost of research and development has been reduced because of data science. The medicine basically, so there are two kind of things. First is the general applicable medicine. The second one is specific. For example, a medicine that is specific uh, targeting for let's say cancer or AIDS, such big diseases. And the second one is the general applicable one. Now the precision of the medicines, as it increases, the cost would also increase, because it's more like a specialized kind of form. With big data, what happens is all that time duration decreases of the research, and secondly, the cost decreases for the company, which means that those specific medicines of higher impact would be available to the public at a lower cost and more quickly. So similarly, better clinical trials, I've explained, escalated drug discovery, because all the research, machine learning algorithms gathering information across the world and then presenting it in a crisp format. So that is why the external and internal collaboration, globally it is happening. India has signed a pact with European Union, EU, for chemical discovery enhancement. And then finally, the focus on sales and marketing. Let's say diseases like malaria, dengue, they are more common in tropical countries because we have rain and water stagnating. So we would be able, the companies that are making those medicines would be focusing our countries. And then, for example, the instances would be less in drier states, like let's say Rajasthan, more in the coastal states, like let's say Maharashtra. So again, I'm going on a very deeper level. So first country, then state, and then locality specific, or then maybe institution or industry specific. So that's why the sales and marketing focus could be increased. So I have attached, I will be sharing this deck with you guys. You can go through how these diagrams explain the detailed nuances in which every industry is using data science and the case studies of them. In terms of also pharma, I would say patents. So we worked with the R&D team of GSK also. Patents is a very big thing because in terms of drug discovery, the only advantage and any company or an organization would have in terms of rolling out a new medicine is part of first R&D, of course, and then the patent. Because if they don't patent it, their competitors would be quickly copying the formula or, rolling out something similar in the market. So in terms of patent also, big data and data science play a role in terms of first that you don't make a mistake, first of all, that, something's already there and then you lose it, you replicate it. And the second would be that gaining the competitive edge in terms of intelligence and time. The third one is OTT platforms, over the top. So I think all of us use Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, all these examples. What the usual problem is that we believe that OTT platforms are only Netflix and Amazon Prime. So that is why I shared this, that how every aspect of our life is not only dependent, but also governed by OTT platforms. Now, the example that of YouTube that I shared, right? Getting a recommender system, notifications and suggestions. The similar thing happens on Facebook also, Amazon also, then Netflix also. How they are driving engagement is the main prime concern that they have. Have you ever experienced that there is something that you've never watched, let's say, and still you're being recommended about it, and then you watch it and you like it? Has it ever happened with you? Type yes or no. Praveen says several times. All of us have undergone this. My younger brother used to think that how do these people get to know what I like? And he's young right now, so I had to explain him this in very basic layman terms. How are people getting to know what he likes or what he wants to buy or what toys that he likes? So this is all deep-rooted science. I think YouTube is also listening. Well, we never know, Shubham. Meta is doing a lot of data breach. That's something that's out in the public. On social media, in Instagram and everything also, we can see all of that happening, right? In terms of people you may know or pages you might want to follow. so that is all the magic of data science. So if you're looking at data science as a career option, good. But I want to bring to your attention the deeper magic of it. Some people might feel scared, okay, everything is being monitored and somebody's keeping an eye on us and data breach and privacy issues. But if we take a moment to think about how fantastic is it that simply based on our interests, the things that are useful to us are being recommended. And if we do this career transition, or if we succeed in this field of data science, we would be the ones driving that impactful change in the world. There is nobody out there who can say that I don't use any of these platforms, or my work does not involve audio, video, media, messaging, or commerce, right? So if we get into this field, we are practically achieving the power to create such a far-fetched impact. OTT platforms, covering the point again, they drive engagement. They also have, these ads that are running. So based on, let's say, you have been searching about watches on Flipkart, and then, or maybe let's say data science courses, you've been Googling about them, and then suddenly you're watching YouTube and you get ads for various data science courses on multiple platforms. That happens a lot of times. So they drive engagement. Then in terms of the number of minutes that we're spending on a video or on a series or on a movie, I'm saying about the OTT platforms, Netflix and Prime Video, or Disney, Hotstar, whatever. This is how we are shaping our own world in terms of, let's say, you are aware of this whole process that is going in the back end. How about you start watching videos of, maybe let's say if you're interested in sports or science or whatever you want to actually grow into, and then the algorithms would take care of the fact that you are recommended similar things instead of all the noise that is going on in the world. This is a slide that I actually wanted to say for the next session, but I'll give a brief overview over here. Data science in the consulting world. So I have almost about 4 years, 3.5 years, 4 years of experience in business consulting, and I shared the industries that I have worked with. All of them listed here, and a couple of more of them. I can share a few examples. For example, let's say education. Okay. So EY Parthenon, I worked with EY Parthenon, and over there we used data science in terms of all three stages that are mentioned over here: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. So diversity, when we say in terms of education, I'll share a case study with you guys. That was schools. We would actually understanding the admission process for high-end schools, the ones where the fees is very high, and they wanted to increase their business basically, and they had universities also affiliated to them. So they wanted the child to begin and end their education journey with that particular brand or institute. So diversity, now they focused on gender diversity also, male, female. They also focused on economic diversity, that we don't want to be just labeled as an elitist organization. We want people from all walks of life to be a part of this brand and carry it forward. And diversity also in terms of the capabilities of students, which means the student should be good in academics or co-curriculars, and overall personality, what kind of background the child comes from, the parents are educated or not, the parents are in business or the parents are in a corporate world, and the locality, for example, the rural background or the urban background, what kind of background the student is coming from. So that kind of diversity we analyzed. The second was predictive. So predictive in terms of enrollments, that if for the past 7 years, we took a data of 7 years. This is the pattern of enrollment that I just mentioned the parameters to you, right, about the diversity. So we noticed those parameters, we analyzed them, and these are the patterns of enrollment. Then what can we predict in terms of future enrollments, admission? How should we tweak the fees and the entrance exam process? What kind of places and institutions should we target to increase the enrollment? So that is all predictive and forecasting the demand. Let's say that how many people would be interested in getting admission, that would drive the demand for admission in our market, in the education market. And then finally prescriptive, which is as the best thing and the most important thing a consultant has to do is recommend you. That's why you're consulting them. So in terms of scholarships, rolling out the donations, and yeah, we would take questions at the end. So the donations and scholarships, and how the institution can increase their outreach programs for the people. So this is such a ground level thing, right? Everybody, all of us have gone to school, right? So how the process is becoming so nuanced through the use of data science, and finally how we are driving all the business parameters through data science. So these were a couple of case studies, and I would like to now share a couple of things where the attention should be focused. First is what to focus on while studying. All of us do a lot of certifications. This course is also one of them, very good opportunity. But going beyond the certifications, which means that not that, let's say if we are saying Srishti should not only know coding in terms of a certificate which says that she has passed so and so course. There is a huge difference in terms of theoretical knowledge and application based knowledge. At the end of the day, we are all looking for a job, and the job would be given to the person who can do the work, who does not only just know about the work, they need to be able to implement it on ground. For that, I would suggest you to do as many projects, capstone projects, side hustles. If you're working already or if you're in college, do as many projects as possible and put them on GitHub and publicize about it, share about it on your profile, LinkedIn, wherever you can, so that you are noticed by those people who are in the industry for your work, whatever you're interested in. Data science is now in every field. There was a time when only FANG companies and high-end companies, tier 1 companies were hiring data scientists. Now everybody has realized, every industry has realized the importance of data analysts, data scientists, engineers, everybody. And there are openings in the most unthought of companies. Who would have thought that engineers would be working in transportation or stuff like that? And that has gone to a big scale. The second is the client serving examples that I've shared with you from my experience. And the third part was the important points during the transition. Now, some of you have mentioned that you're transitioning from a non-tech to a tech role. And I think there was somebody who mentioned that there are a housewife right now, and now they are transitioning to a data science role. Please try to understand that while the industry needs you, they are also very demanding now in terms of the 3 Ps that I mentioned in front of you. Can anybody list the 3 Ps that I mentioned? Just write it in the chat. Let's see. Write the 3 P, any of the Ps that you remember, the 3 Ps that very good. Proficiency, passion, yes, and preference. Lovely to see this. Yes, okay. Some people are writing all the 3 Ps, some people are writing only 1 or 2. Oh, this is very good to see you. You guys have paid attention. So happy. Jayanti has written all the 3 Ps, very good. Priya has written all the 3 Ps. Deepak has written all the 3 Ps. Kriti has written all the 3 Ps. Okay. Balkrishna has written all 3 Ps. Soumya. Lovely. So basically, yes, thank you. The point being that during a career transition, or maybe if you're a student, then maybe a career beginning, these 3 Ps are something to hold very closely, and you don't need to be very rigid about it. Passion can change, preference can change, proficiency can be increased by learning, or it could also decrease. Let's say after this course is over, if you don't practice it, if you don't do projects and stuff like that, it can also decrease. So these 3 Ps are always evolving, and you must always be cognizant of it to have a smooth career transition and even better career growth, which means career progression. So these are the most important things that I would suggest you. And I think the tech layoffs are the finest example for us to know how excellence is needed. Because, gone are the days when people are just because you have a degree of IIT, IIM or stuff like that, or, Ivy League colleges, you would be given a job. Now you are tested on these things, and that is where we get our advantage. We people from tier 2, tier 3 colleges, we get our advantage because now we are the ones who are hardworking and we are working on our skills also. And this is the thought that I would request you to just keep in mind, even during the course, even during your projects, and while you are developing your skills. These 3 Ps, and the most important part of excellence, I think we must have all watched Three Idiots, where he says that success ke piche mat bhago, excellence ke piche bhago. That is the last thought I would like to leave you with. If you have any questions, please do ask in the chat window. And I'll give a brief spoiler for the next session, which is on 3rd of February. Uh, I would share, I am open to your questions. You can type if you want anything, or you can share your feedback if that's okay. The brief spoiler about the next session is that I would be sharing in a more detailed way about what skills are we talking about. When we say coding, we don't mean everything. Aapko sab kuch aana is not necessary. There is a specific, thank you Akash, there is a specific kind of thing, specific kind of skill set. For example, somebody might be good with analytics, somebody might be good with visualization, let's say the tools like Tableau, Power BI. Somebody might be good with data storytelling, somebody might be good with converting the business problem into a data problem. So, or the soft skills that I mentioned about, the behavioral skills, whether you're able to communicate, whether you're able to understand and then convey a solution, more importantly, whether you're able to bring business for your company. So all of that, we would be covering those skills in detail, what you need to do. And the most common question that I get is that in order to become a data scientist, do I need to do everything? No, that is not, everything is not something you have to do. There is a role demarcation in data scientists also. When we say being hired as a data scientist, there are multiple specifications of being a data scientist also. I will cover all of that. And one thing that I am planning to do in the next session is, since I have conducted about, I don't know, about 450, 480 interviews. So I have some understanding of what kind of CVs that we are looking for. What kind of candidates are we looking for? So would you people be willing to, would you be interested in knowing those insights in terms of how to be, how to be creating a good profile, professional profile and a good CV? Yes or no? Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. And something, it is an initiative from my side. I'm not sure if the team would approve it, but I could take up a couple of CVs from this group, and we could actually analyze them live. We could review them and improve them. Would you like that? Or would you just want me to tell what has to be done and okay, you would like that? Okay, guys, then next time, right now the session is about to end. Next time, I would request you all to be prepared with your updated CVs, and at random, I would choose couple of CVs as much as I can, and we would review them. We would give you feedback, and I hope that you would land your dream job very soon. Okay, be prepared with your updated CVs next week. In interview, is it necessary to be fluent in English? Depends on two things. First is the location or the client that you're, the company that you're interviewing for. For example, if it's a US based company or you want to shift to London or somewhere where English is the prime language, then yes, I will be honest with you, it is necessary. But let's say if you're only looking at maybe Bangalore or Hyderabad, where the most product-based companies have their offices, or maybe some local place. Let's say you want to join a branch in Chennai, stuff like that. Over there, I think the local language would be fine. But for the interview specifically, you've asked, for that you need to know basic English, so that you're able to, as I mentioned about the soft skills, right? So you must be able to understand the problem, what the other person is asking, and you must be able to explain your answer, what solution you are proposing. So when you code, you're obviously coding in English, right? Everybody with the syntax of that respective language. So that level of English plus the basic communication should be able to happen, right? You don't need to be Shashi Tharoor, okay? I'll be honest. But you need to also be fluent in terms of your idea understanding and idea sharing. All right, I hope that answers your question. What is the probability? Manikanta is asking. 1 second. My LinkedIn ID is present on every slide in the bottom over here. linkedin.com/in/Srishti23. Or you could search me as Srishti Gupta on LinkedIn, Microsoft speaker. Ma'am, your LinkedIn. Okay, Rakesh, I've shared it. Shubham is asking how to get those capstone projects. Okay, so Shubham, okay, I can give you a couple of ideas over here. First is that participate in hackathons. I genuinely feel that some of the best teams are formed in hackathons, and teams in not just for the competition, in terms of, you know, how those people. So when I judge hackathons, I take those projects forward because most of these people want to begin their own startups with their project. So we take it into the whole business venture side, and that's how the project turns into a. Somebody had mentioned that they want their business also to start. So that's how a project turns into a business. And if you just want to do projects for the sake of experience or getting a job, then go to these Kaggle and all that, gather the data and think, you know, just try to solve a business problem. Many problems are posted online. All right, you could just type capstone projects in data science. Whatever your field of interest might be, try to do those projects. If I can, you know, if I impose on you that, you know, do a project on supply chain optimization, that would not make much sense. So try to participate in hackathons, try to Google stuff, and then try to find similar minded people rather than doing everything alone, which sounds very heroic, but is also very, you know, difficult in the beginning. So try to find like-minded people and then, you know, discuss, brainstorm, and then get to work. Don't just keep thinking about it, do the actions. Okay. Yeah. Do we have more questions?
Hi, Srishti.
Hi. Who's this?
This is Prasad, PAV Prasad.
Hi, Prasad.
How are you doing? And the session was quite, encouraging and also quite interesting to get into more deeper and deeper.
Thank you so much.
Kudos to your presentation.
Thank you.
Second thing is that, do we have any one-to-one mentorship from your side? See, you have a lot of expertise in this domain, and also you have already trained many students and working professionals. Do you also have any platform where we can connect one-to-one, and then you can give some guidance for people like me, where see, actually I'm having almost 15 years experience into pharmaceutical sales. Okay, so now I wanted to go for a career transition, either into machine learning engineer or a data analytics. So I need some guidance on those things. So even I will also get some guidance from Odin School, but still, one-to-one mentorship will really add value when we are really interested, and when we wanted to really have a career transition. So that is what my ask from your side. So do you have any platforms like where people will post in LinkedIn for one-to-one mentorships kind of a thing? So do you also have those options for us? Whoever is interested, they can approach you.
Okay, so I do provide one-to-one mentorship, and I do provide corporate trainings also in offices also and in universities also. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and we could
Okay.
discuss it further. My LinkedIn is mentioned on every slide.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we could discuss it.
Thank you. Thank you, Shisti. And do you recommend any, internships for people like me?
Absolutely. So while I worked with Internshala for about 4 years, uh, there were people from the age of 14 to about, let's say, I don't know, 48 that I was managing. And everybody has a different kind of interest or inclination. So based on that, we used to help them in aligning them with an industry specific internship or a profile specific. So let's say that, as you mentioned, that you're already in pharma and you want to switch to a data science role within the same industry. So there are different roles in the same industry, right? So there are
Yes.
multiple internships we used to recommend, and for sure we can connect on that. I can guide you about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Shisti. I'll be connecting with you very soon. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Most welcome. So I think this brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you found it useful and you take back home some insights. I believe the recording would be available to you on your platform. And in case you have any further questions, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. And in the
Hello.
next session, I have already shared a brief of what I'll be covering. So I hope to see you next time.
Hello,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so we can take the last question now. Okay, who's this?
This is Manikanta, ma'am.
Okay, hi Manikanta.
Hello, ma'am. How are you doing? Actually, ma'am, it is the time of recession, right? My question is simple. What is the probability of getting a job as a fresher in the data field? In the recession, I'm asking.
Okay, so it depends on a couple of factors. First is your experience. The second, actually, first thing is the 3 Ps: your proficiency, your preference, and your passion. The second thing is, I do have a good news for you guys. The freshers have a high possibility of getting a job. The reason being that since you're beginning your career, you would be expecting lesser salary than those who are already in the industry, right? The people who are actually being laid off have experience of 5 to 15 years. Today, I read about the person who had 16.5 years of experience in Google and was laid off, right?
Yes, ma'am. I do read that one.
So the freshers have a higher probability of getting the job because they would be having lesser salary expectations for the similar kind of work. So I would suggest that don't lose hope. Focus on your 3 Ps, proficiency right now being the most important. And I would say that you guys have higher probability of being recruited. And how to get recruited, how to increase your chances of being recruited, that I would cover in the next session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. I'm reading your comments. They are very sweet. Thank you so much. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. And I would be connecting with you next time, next week. And I hope to see you there.
Hello,
Good
ma'am.
night.
I'm unable to find your LinkedIn ID. Could you please
All right.
share the link?
Yeah, can you see it on my screen over here in the bottom left corner?
ID भी share कर दो LinkedIn ID क्या तो कर देते
Is it visible? It's Srishti 23, okay? Yeah, thank you, Praveen, for posting in the comments. And thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Make it productive and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Srishti. It's time to end the session.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, guys. Thank you, everyone. And guys, one small request before leaving the session, just go back to LMS and provide your valuable feedbacks regarding the session. Okay, guys.
Yeah, I would be going through your feedbacks also. Let me know. Okay.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Srishti, for your time. Bye.